Good evening.
Bringing welcome to us this evening. Again, thank you for everyone being here. Next on our program, we will have Dr. Lee Alexander, who is one of our awesome English teachers here at Groves High School and also our journalism advisor. She's going to come up and introduce our student rebel voice for this evening, Mr. Ryan Lee Mitchell.
Thank you, Dr. Robinson, and good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
We are proud of our student writers at Groves, and we have many accomplished prose writers, poets, and journalists. We are proud of our student writers at Groves, and we have many accomplished prose writers, poets, and journalists. Tonight, I would like to introduce one of our advanced journalism students, Mr. Ryan Lee Mitchell. Ryan Lee is going to read a story that he wrote for our school newspaper, the Rebel Rundown, last spring, about the outstanding Groves men's and women's basketball teams and our wonderful coaching staff.
Good evening.
Good evening.
This evening I'm reading an article I wrote about a year ago called Basketball Doppelgangers. Groves Hoopsters Rebel Nation. Two different teams, yet remarkably similar background and story. That's what boys basketball and girls basketball represent at Groves. Despite their differences, both are great and have had a great come up over the past few years. The girls basketball team has gone through lots of hardships and lots of training had to be done. But no worries. Coach Amber Chambers, who has been supporting the Lady Rebels for 4 years, has bonded closely with the players and has trained relentlessly alongside them, getting them in better shape than they have been. This year, the girls basketball team has had its fair share of losses, but they have done well despite said losses. Just recently on February 2nd, they won a match against Beach High School. How, you may ask? According to Coach Chambers herself, we went in strong with a strong game plan. The goal is to shut down the main scorer. After that, it's just a hard game to push through. And with this plan, they came home happy. When asked about her strongest players, she chose two. Defensive player Zeta Edwards has a great ability to get an assignment done that has been given to her when it comes to defense, according to Coach Chambers. For our offensive player, she chose Maya Wright, who she said is a strong player and puts all her effort into the court. The boys basketball team has faced years of self-finding. It was a struggle of making a face for themselves, like looking for yourself. For several years, there were lots of freshmen and a few seniors and juniors. Most of the team was off to graduate from high school or headed off to college. And the other half were fresh faces and hadn't played school basketball before. So the team really had to undergo lots of change and training. They were led through years by Coach Evans, the head coach of the team for 4 years running. Over the past few years, the boys team has accomplished lots of things, making big plays and big scores on the board, and even making it to the AAA championship in 2022 and beating the rival Beach High, to take home the championship that Groves has not achieved in the past 10 years. These are two of the many great teams that make up Groves sports teams. Hardworking and truly overcoming, they are the pride of the West Side.
Thank you, Ryan Lee. That was completely like the best story from one of our student journalists, excuse me. We are very proud of our basketball teams, and we are very excited for this year's basketball season as well. So we appreciate Ryan Lee taking time out of his busy schedule to come up and share one of his articles with us. Dr. Alexander, who again is our journalism teacher here at Groves High School, is going to share another student piece with us tonight. It is going to be featured in the Rebel Rundown, which is our newspaper, and we will have our first edition of the Rebel Rundown this year next week. So it will be posted to all of our social media sites and our website. So Groves High School does have a digital newspaper, and we are very proud of that. Yes, please give them a round of applause because they work very hard on that. So at this time, we're going to let Dr. Alexander come back and share that piece by our student, Michaela. Yes.
Thank you so much. Tonight, Michaela Lincoln, who is another student on our Rebel Rundown staff, could not be here because she is a volleyball player, and they have made it to the playoffs, and they're in Liberty County, even as we speak, fighting to work their way to the finals. So Michaela wrote a story that is called "What Is That Big Truck Doing Here?" This was from last spring, and you may remember, if you were here then, what the story is about. What is that huge truck doing in the Groves parking lot? On the morning of April 10th, 2025, a semi-truck pulled up to Groves High School in Garden City. Reporters Michaela Lincoln and Adrian Castellano decided to interview the woman inside to find out why the truck had come to school and why students were entering the trailer. When they approached the truck, they saw a large trailer with a design featuring a woman in bold white words reading "Safe, Strong, Independent." They entered the trailer and saw right away there were 3 computers displaying a begin quiz button. The quiz was about how students feel about work and how they would respond to different scenarios. On the right side, a timeline showcased the organization's accomplishments over the years. In the middle of the room, there was a display shelf with clothing and equipment, boots, safety vest, a jacket and pants. At the front sat a semi-truck driving simulator to give students a sense of how difficult it is to operate a truck. So why bring this trailer to Groves? Ms. Aiello, the woman in charge of the truck, said to teach students about trucking since a lot don't know much, and for the opportunity to learn and connect with them. While students used the driving simulator, Aiello stood beside them, guiding them through the controls and explaining the risks involved. She talked about how regular cars should behave around semi-trucks and helped students take the quiz, offering clear explanations and answering their questions. Given her knowledge, it's no surprise Aiello is a professional in the field. She shared that she's been driving semi-trucks for 10 years. Growing up on a farm, she said they needed large vehicles to haul things like horse trailers, so semi-trucks were essential. She decided to bring this learning experience to Groves High to help students understand the role of semi-trucks in the business world and prepare them for future career opportunities. Aiello said she'd visited about 100 different schools in 2024 to give students access to this learning opportunity. In conclusion, plenty of Grove students gained valuable knowledge from the experience and had fun while doing so. Questions were met with answers and lessons were learned. Aiello plans to continue visiting school to spread the knowledge that Grove students got firsthand during this event.
Thank you, Dr. Alexander. That was very awesome. We did have a wonderful time with the Women in Trucking program last year. The students were excited. They were elated to have the opportunity to get into the semi, to sit in the driver's seat, and whoa, what a rush it gave some of our female students to know that they could get up in a semi-truck and be able to drive it. And like Dr. Alexander and Michaela stated, The young lady that brought the truck, she was probably about 5'3", you know, so it was really awesome to see a young lady get out of the truck, and it was an awesome sight to see. So don't think that girls can't, because girls can. So that's right, girl power, exactly. So now I'm going to take a quick break before Ms. Gadson, who is our academic coach, is going to come and talk to us about HMH and how HMH is supporting our students, because we have a little trivia. So our first trivia question for the night, I'll make it an easy one. Who is the author of the Harry Potter series? J.K. Rowling, yes, thank you very much. All right, very good. I got another one. This will be an easy one. So this is for all of my English teachers. What punctuation mark is used at the end of a question? I know, I got to make it easy because I got to give away some prizes here. Yes, a question mark. Yes, very good. All right, so that is our trivia for the moment. I will be back with some more questions. That will be a little harder. So but right now, we're going to let Ms. Gadson come up, who is our academic coach for social studies and English, and she's going to talk a little bit about HMH.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Again, my name is Jakeyah Gadson. I am the academic coach here for ELA and Social Studies. I'm here to briefly talk to you about HMH, which is our English curriculum that we use for our 9th through 12th grade classes. So my time before you will be short. I'll briefly introduce HMH and how it's used in the classroom. I'll talk a little bit about how you can support students with the next steps, and then I will be out of your way. All right, so HMH Into Literature is a program designed to build 4 things. So reading comprehension, writing skills, collaboration, and critical thinking skills. And our teachers utilize this platform every day in one way or another to hit one of these main 4 targets. They let students know in advance what the focus is, and utilizing something called an exit ticket is how they check their understanding and assess for whether or not they mastered our standards. HMH ties strongly into our Georgia standards and curriculum, and is supported with Curriculum Warehouse from our district. So we'll get into a few ways that students utilize HMH. So the first is reading and annotation. So they read either a poem, a story, a play, or an essay. If they are using a digital version, so if they're using their Chromebooks in class, they have the option to use a highlighting tool, annotation tool, and to take notes, utilizing the same functions that they'll see in Lit Comp 2 on the Georgia milestone. So this is just a snapshot of what your scholar sees if they are in the HMH platform. So they have their text, which they're utilizing in class, their contents, which lets them know which of those 4 things, the critical thinking, collaboration, writing, or reading comprehension, that they will be utilizing. And as they read, they have annotations, which they are actively engaged in with their teachers throughout class to ensure comprehension of the text prior to completing the text. So with hitting that second marker, of writing, our students receive prompts where they're either responding in short answer or essay form, both again which they see on the milestone. They also engage in end-of-unit performance tasks, so this is meant to enhance that critical thinking. You see things like podcasts, debates, creation of projects, things of that nature. And it's integrated with the platform called Writable. So your scholar may use Writable as a second component. So they might say HMH, they might say Writable. And Writable, which is a component of HMH, is where they receive their prompts, their opportunities for peer review, and to make revisions to their work. So at any given moment when your student or your scholar is working on writing, they are focused on one of these 5 components. So thesis statements, which is overall main ideas, the organization of a writing piece, transitions, grammar. So thank you, Doc, for that trivia question about question marks. We appreciate that. And scaffolded support. So what we mean by scaffolded support, Each grade band starts on a specific grade level and has rigor according to that grade level, and teachers are provided resources where they can either scaffold up or scaffold down in order to support and meet students where they are with their current learning. So another big part, arguably my favorite component of HMH, is the integration of discussions and collaborations. So that was always a push with our curriculum, but with HMH, teachers are given the tools to help facilitate these discussions and these conversations. So when you're listening to these conversations, you'll hear collaborations and comparisons of different texts, different writing pieces, discussions based on the same thing, and this is also an opportunity for peer review of writing. HMH also provides frequent assessments, formative and summative. Formative assessments taking place during the learning, so looking back at that annotation key, the analyzing component of HMH. Formative taking place at the end of each unit. The assessments are digital and you get immediate feedback, which helps with our personalized learning, so students know what they have to work on and where they stand before they even leave the class. And this is also another opportunity for revision and reflection, which HMH supports with teachers facilitating those conversations, and it supports with students engaging in them. So the benefits for students, there's a structured skill progression. So some feedback that some of our district personnel got was that teachers acknowledged the need for scaffolded support, especially post-COVID, but didn't necessarily have the tools or the capacity to do so. So HMH does it for us. You get exposure to diverse texts and genres. There are digital and print options. So if your scholar is working with HMH, they'll either be utilizing their Chromebook or an actual workbook. And the differentiated supports, which I named. So for our SPED learners, our ESOL learners, and then also our accelerated learners, all of those students are supported with the HMH curriculum. Some challenges to keep in mind as you support your scholars at home. HMH does mirror what you would see in a collegiate level course, so the pacing is fast at times, and my job as a coach is to help teachers either speed it up more or slow it down depending on the needs of the students. The digital tools vary by device, so what I see when I log into HMH on my Chromebook will differ from what I see when I log in on my cell phone or an iPad. And then there are fewer long-form texts. So if your scholar is working on extended reading or reading stamina, there are fewer novel options than there are short story or one-pager options. So how you as parents can support? Ask about the class readings and discussions, and that's just to make sure that our students are retaining the information. So if you can't tell someone what you learned, then you probably didn't necessarily digest it. So reiterating that learning and asking about these discussions and readings that are happening. And again, this information is readily available. Review the digital annotations and essays together in class, and then provide time for sustained reading at home. And if you have further questions about support for your specific student, please reach out to your teacher and we can make those supports a little bit more personalized. So takeaways for those supporting scholars. So HMH is built to build stronger reading comprehension. So simply reading something, digesting it, and being able to tell someone what you read about. It helps develop effective writing skills, which is beneficial wherever students may go after high school. It helps students engage in meaningful discussions, so communicating thoughts, challenging thoughts of others, and communicating in that discourse, or participating, in that discourse. And then it helps our students to grow as independent thinkers. So the school plus the home support equals student success. I think that's it. Questions? All right, thank you all.
Thank you, Ms. Gadson. HMH has become an integral part of our curriculum here at Groves High School. Students know exactly what you're talking about when you say HMH, and it has provided a very strong foundation for many of our students as they become ferocious readers, because that's what we want. We want them to become readers because we know that reading is the foundation of all of our academics, and so comprehension and the ability to read and absorb and comprehend is very important across the curriculum. All right, so before we bring up Ms. Franklin, who is our Family and Community Relations Specialist, I have another trivia question. So since I got the look from Ms. Hardy that said that question mark question was a little bit too simple. I'm gonna go a little bit harder. All right, so here it is. What classic book features the characters Scout, Atticus, and Jim? To Kill a Mockingbird. Yes, very good, very good. All right, one more. Which American poet wrote the lines, "Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled"?
Robert Frost.
Robert Frost. Y'all are good at this. Very good. Congratulations. All right, so at this time, we're going to have Ms. Franklin, again, who is our family and community relations specialist, and she is going to talk a little bit about digital literacy resources. Give it up for Ms. Franklin.
Thank you. So I just wanted to highlight a really awesome resource that is available to our students. And this is available to all students in the district. So no matter if they're in elementary, middle, or high school, they can use their student ID, which is the same number that they use for their lunch, to access free online resources through the Live Oak Public Library. So all they do is use their number. They can go to liveoakpl.org/play. All they have to do, they have instant access with their number. There's no sign up needed. They can get free borrowing of books, ebooks, audiobooks, and more, and there is no overdue fines. They can also get online learning tools like live tutoring, homework help, literacy resources, and research databases, as well as college and career support, so test prep and job readiness resources. So this is an awesome way for students to get any support that they need. They can also download the Libby app, which is an app they can use on their phone to also access books for their Kindles or audiobooks. And then they can access Galileo, Hoopla, many other things in the Play app. So all you have to do again is go to liveoakpl.org/play to sign up. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Franklin. So that brings us to the end of our program for the evening. So on behalf of the Robert W. Groves High School, I want to sincerely thank each and every one of you for coming out and joining us tonight for our celebration of literacy. Your presence shows your commitment and the strong foundation that we are trying to build for our students to be academically successful. So we really appreciate that. As you leave this evening, we invite you to stop by our table at the front where Ms. Franklin is housed for the evening and pick up a book to take home with you. We encourage you to continue to read together as a family and to explore other literary activities that will not only strengthen skills but also create memories and traditions centered around the love of learning. At Groves High, we believe that reading is more than just an academic task. It is a getaway and a gateway to opportunity, imagination, and lifelong growth. By engaging with your students through books, conversations, and creative expression, you are supporting their journey in the most powerful way possible. So again, we thank you for being a part of our literacy night, and together we will make sure that our rebels are readily engaged in the business of embracing learning for success. So before I bid you a wonderful evening, we have to do one more trivia question. So here's our last trivia question for the night. What is the name of the boy who never grows up in J.M. Barrie's story? Peter Pan. So like Peter Pan, never grow up, continue to read, and have a good evening. Thank you all very much.